need to come. And like I said, we're going to fire these two cannons the same way that they would. My name is Kevin. I'm a volunteer. Most of our cannon crew is volunteers, and we typically come out here every Saturday and do this. It's just a lot of fun. We're also set off a lot of black powder. All right, the first cannon we're going to fire, this is what was known as a 12-pounder field howitzer. Back in the 1800s, cannons were usually classified by the weight of the solid cannonball or shot that they'd fire. So this cannon, 12-pounder, fired a solid 12-pound cannonball. Used the term field cannon. Field cannons were not usually in a place like Fort Pulaski. Field cannons were usually on the battlefields with the infantry. These were the cannons that were small, light enough that you could get them on the battlefield, get them off the battlefield. You know, wherever the infantry went, these field cannons went with them. Now, typically, when you think about Civil War battles, usually you think of not so much of a battle of Fort Pulaski where there's big cannons on Tybee Island, Confederates are in the fort. Usually you think of those battlefields. There's an army on one side, there's an army on another side. Now, if you're firing at armies, typically you didn't use solid cannonballs. Solid cannonballs, if you were trying to knock down something, if it's enemy soldiers you're trying to get, you had cannonballs, basically they were made hollowed out, they'd be filled with black powder. Sometimes they'd also put pieces of metal inside, like small musket balls. All that metal, all that black powder would be packed in here. And this big plug that holds it all in, not only is that a plug, but it's also a timed fuse. You could actually set this for any number of seconds. Now what you want to have happen, let's say you set it for 4 seconds. You fire these cannonballs out of the cannon, when the black powder goes off, that's what lights the fuse. And hopefully 4 seconds later, not sooner, the cannonball is high up in the air over those enemy soldiers. That's where you want it to explode. The ball explodes, breaks up into metal pieces, and if you have those extra metal pieces inside, called shrapnel, all those metal pieces then fall down on those enemy soldiers. You know, whether they're running across the battlefield, maybe they're hiding behind fences, maybe they're hiding behind trees, but this metal is raining down on them. So that's usually these small field cannons is what you were firing out of for most of the battle. Let's just say, you know, the battle's going bad for your side, and the enemy soldiers are coming across that battlefield. At a certain point, maybe they're about a quarter-mile away, you start switching from firing these round, exploding cannonballs. What was usually considered the deadliest thing fired out of Civil War cannons, called canister. Big tin can filled with large metal balls, about the size of golf balls. When you fire something like this out of one of these little field cannons, when the black powder goes off, pretty much the tin can explodes away to nothing. You got these large metal balls coming out of here, and the effect is like you got a giant shotgun, giant shot at those enemy soldiers that keep getting closer and closer to you. Now on these small field cannons, usually whether it was a cannonball or canister, the black powder was in a material bag. And usually the material bag of black powder was physically attached to the cannonball or the canister. So in one easy, quick motion, you can get the black powder and the round into the cannon. When you fire the cannon, almost everything gets blown out of the cannon. But usually the back of the bag of black powder, usually that stays in the back of the cannon. Now you get ready to reload the cannon, you don't want to be putting more black powder in here if there's fire in it. So the very first step of our procedure here, when we start loading the cannon, now the cannoneer that stands here, he's cannoneer number 1. He's the ramrod guy. But the first step of the process, on the back end of the ramrod, he had a big sponge, he had a bucket of water, so he'd wet the sponge, wick off the excess, put it down the barrel, douse any flames that are burning in there, making it safe to pour black powder in. While he's doing that, cannoneer number 5 kind of stands in the back and has this leather satchel on it. He goes back to the limber cart with the ammunition box. He carries 1 round forward. Now, you never wanted to stockpile black powder here. No bad things would happen. So the rounds are carried one at a time from the ammunition box to the cannon. 5 brings it up. Cannoneer number 2 standing in the wheel there. He takes the round, he puts it in the muzzle, Now cannoneer number 1 with his ramrod rams everything into the back. Now we're loaded. Next we go aim the cannon and set the range. Now these little cannons were pretty simple. And the only thing you really needed to know, if the enemy is far away, you need to shoot that cannonball high to shoot it far. So if the enemy's far away, in this particular cannon, you turn this screw, bring it back down, shoot the cannonball high. If you shoot the canister, you want that shotgun effect, you bring the back down so that it's fairly level. Alright, maybe the gunner. Now the gunner's the sergeant. Where it's pointing. Alright, so now we're set. Next command is ready. I'm ready. Cannoneer number 3 comes in, takes out the priming wire. There's a hole on the top of the barrel, and he puts this wire down the hole. What do you think he just did?
Cleared it out.
Nope, not set the timer. Somebody might have said it. Broke the bag. You punctured a hole in the bag. Alright, so the hole's in the top of on the top of the bag. Cannoneer number 4, that's me today, this is the best part. There's a rope lanyard, and on the end of the rope lanyard there's a hook. Now Civil War, they had a little device, just before the war, called a friction primer. It's a little copper tube filled with black powder. There's a wire that comes out of it, on the end of the wire. Out my rope lanyard, and there's a hook on the end of it. Put the hook around the loop, and set the friction primer. There's a hole on the top here. And then I'm going to back away so it's tight, and I wait for the command from the gunner. What's he going to say? Fire! So I'm going to pull the rope. And what that's going to do is strip that wire out. And the wire has a serrated edge. Basically, I'm striking a match inside this tube of black powder. Shoot fire down through the hole I poked, ignite the bag of black powder in here, and in my case, shoot a big aluminum foil ball out into the battle. Pretty simple, right? It's a little bit harder with somebody shooting at you. Now, see, talk about the Civil War soldier, a team here, you were expected to fire this cannon like that about every 20 seconds. Roughly every three times a minute, you're expected to fire it. But they definitely, if the enemy, as the enemy got a lot closer, it took a lot less than 20 seconds to fire it. Alright, to fire this one, we're going to go over to the big gun of the National Park Service. The biggest gun in the National Park Service is a 30-pounder. So this was 30 pounds, 12 pounds, that's 30 pounds, so everything is going to be about 2.5 times, including the amount of black powder. So that's the largest firing cannon in the National Park Service. We have it. The National Park Service. U.S. National Park Service. Yes. We have it because that cannon basically tells the story of the Battle of Fort Pulaski. Battle of Fort Pulaski, Confederates are in the fort, U.S. Army is over on Tybee Island, and they've got these cannons like this, and this was new technology at the beginning of the American Civil War, rifle cannons. Those rifle cannons didn't fire around cannonballs. They fired something that looked like a big bullet. And the big difference between this type of cannon and that type of cannon, inside the barrel, when they made that barrel, they cut grooves. That cannon had 5 grooves, and as the grooves go from the back of the cannon to the front, those grooves slowly make it twist. When you fire something like this out of that cannon, this comes out and follows that twist, and this comes out spinning. Well, this is a physics thing, but you can think about just as a quarterback throwing a tight spiral pass. All of a sudden now, at the beginning of the American Civil War, these rifle cannons could shoot something a lot farther, a lot more accurately than a round cannonball. And the Battle of Fort Pulaski was the first time in history it's being tried out against a fort like this. So a U.S. fort that took 18 years to build, designed against round cannonballs, all it took was 10 rifle cannons on Tybee Island, 30 hours of battle. They destroyed the corner, and basically they destroyed the corner and came pretty close to blowing up the powder magazine in the corner. They came so close that the Confederates surrendered the fort to the Yankees. So that's our story. And the loading procedure over there is pretty similar to that procedure here. All right, you ready for the firing?
Yeah.
Yep.
All right, 2 safety things. Number 1, we need everybody back on the brakes. Safety thing number 2, it's going to be loud. Everybody, don't mind. Here, every time when that happens, be prepared.
I can hold one ear.
Well, first, ladies and gentlemen, representing our smoothbore artillery is our 12-pounder field howitzer. It's the model 1841, seen service in the Mexican War in the 1840s, also the American Civil War, of course, in the 1860s. Now, the howitzer is considered light artillery. The barrel itself is made of bronze, weighs about 800 pounds. The carriage is about 1,300 pounds or so. You're going to see these on the battlefield. In fact, where we just got the charge out of that is called a limber. You can hook the howitzer onto the limber, grab 6 horses, and you're on your way. Now, the howitzer is an anti-personnel weapon. Fires a solid shot. A pay shot is this term the gunner mentioned, basically exploding shell. It also fires by shotgun shells called canister. This is the weapon on the battle. Ladies and gentlemen, with a ready command, now's the time to have your ears covered. Be pretty loud. Fire!
That wasn't that bad.
It's because you're deaf.
Now, of course, we're not actually firing any projectiles today, and the charge is just a half charge at that. That was about 10 ounces of cannon weight last time. So we're going to get a baseline of how loud this stuff can be. Right now, they're securing the piece, and they're going to move over and man the 30-pounder Parrott. The Parrott rifles was a reproduction of one of the 10 that actually fired on the fort 152 years ago in April 1863. Now, when we fire that, the charge is going to be the largest. The average charge for the Parrot's going to be a pound and a half. So, folks down here, you're not only going to hear it, even with your ears covered, you'll actually feel the leads under your chest when it goes off. Now, again, I'll give you plenty of warning.
Alright, I'm not going to film this one because I'm not going to drop the camera.
Oh yeah.
It ain't mine, so I'm not going to drop it.
Right.
If everybody's going to be on the break, please. Now, the 30-pounder Parrott here is considered heavy artillery. This is something that you're going to find a place to put it. You're going to build some sort of fortification around it, whether it's made of sand or stone. The barrel is made of iron. It weighs about 4,000 pounds as opposed to the bronze 800-pound barrel, the howitzer. Total package on this, retail price is about 7,000 pounds. So you're going to need a little bit of help moving it, as we're going to see in just a just a few moments here. Now, with both drills, we actually take the original drill out of the manuals they're using, these ordnance manuals, and let us learn more. We can make some slight modifications for safety, but they're pretty much spot on. The biggest difference, though, with the parent drill here is it's really a two-step process. They would bring the charge up, ram it home just like they've done here. Now they would actually bring up the projectile, prepare that, and ram it home. But we're not talking projectiles, so we can take that step out. Now, when this would fire that projectile, so the recoil back, push back about 7 feet, so they would need to move it forward. So they need a little bit of help. That's what these heavy hand spikes do. Not generally in this configuration. So here they're simulating moving it forward in the battery into its firing position. Once it's there, the other most of the cannoneers are on the way. One cannoneer is behind, the gunners grab their rear sight, so he's making his final adjustments. You know, what we call aiming today, they call pointing. So we make those final adjustments. The gunner then lets the cannoneer know that he's all set with a gesture like that, and all we wait for is a verbal command. Ready. Ladies and gentlemen, ready command has been given. Please cover your ears. This will be much louder. Fire!
So excited.
Oh yeah.
Oh man.
Fort Pulaski was built for a specific weapon, and that was the Sweet 4K in the early 19th century. However, by the time the fort actually sees battle, time passes, technology catches up, and then surpasses the wartime capability. Of course, that's represented by the rifle cannon here. But with that, ladies and gentlemen, that is going to conclude our program schedule for today. Meeting the fort is open. It is yours. Feel free to get out there and explore. If anybody wants to have their pictures taken with the cannon crew, trust me, these guys aren't shy. So we just ask you to come up one family, one group at a time. We'll get everybody's photograph taken. But other than that, the fort is open until 5 o'clock.
Cool, huh? That was awesome.